Hey guys, so I want to do a little video question that's kind of been on my head for the last couple of days. Touched on it a little bit last night talking to J-Rocks, but I want to do a video about it. A buddy of mine and me were talking about the Wolverine movies the other night, and he was talking about how that as a Wolverine fan, he didn't really enjoy the movies at all, whereas I thought that they were pretty good movies. But I think maybe that's because I don't really have a basis for any of the past history and everything that, he's invested in the Wolverine character over the years. Um, and it got me to thinking, that with books, a lot of times, novels, whenever they're made into movies, it seems like I'm always disappointed in those. Unless, like World War Z, that they're so totally different from the book that I find them enjoyable for two separate reasons. But most of the time in a novel, the reason I'm disappointed with what's going on is that I have a visualization of what the characters are going to look like and this, that, and the other. And so a lot of times it's a casting issue for that matter because it's not the person that I visualized as being in that role. But with comics, because you've already got visual aids to what's going on, um, it doesn't seem like that should be as big a deal for me. But I do find that comics that I really enjoy, whenever they're made into TV shows or movies, that I'm a lot harsher on those TV shows or movies than I am books that I don't read. Um, and I read, uh, Daredevil for a long time. And when they made the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, I was really disappointed with that. I read Fantastic Four for a long time, and when they made the Fantastic Four movie, I was kind of disappointed with that. But looking back on that now, it's actually not a bad Fantastic Four movie. Um, but then there are characters that I don't know anything about. Um, like, I just finished watching Jessica Jones. I don't know anything about Jessica Jones. I don't know anything about Luke Cage. I don't know anything about their histories or anything. I went into it blind. And the only person in that book that I really had any dealings with is a little bit to do uh, with Kilgrave, Purple Man guy, and I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him in the series, but I think I more enjoyed that than I did Daredevil, which were both great series because of the fact that I I do somewhat have an idea of Daredevil, but I don't of Jessica Jones. And, then with movies, you've got movies like Guardians of the Galaxy that I've never read any Guardians of the Galaxy. And I thought that movie was fantastic. Actually made me go back and try to pick up some back issues on Guardians of the Galaxy to try to understand exactly what the Guardians story was because they don't really give you a whole lot of that in the Guardians movie, which I think is a good way to go about making comic movies because you get the same movie over and over, regardless if they make it. I don't know what Spider Man incarnation they're on, but basically each Spider Man movie basically starts out the same. And I don't understand spending all that money for that when you've got such a breadth of history with that character and so many storylines. Why it is that it always has to be the same story that I hear. Um, but, you know, I don't know. I was just wondering if anybody else out there kind of feels that way, that maybe because you set expectations so high that you just blindly look past actually how good something is because of the fact that your initial response to that is not necessarily so good. Um, I think had I read The Walking Dead prior to watching The Walking Dead TV series, that I would not have liked The Walking Dead near as much. Because I found that since I watched The Walking Dead TV series and I went back and read the comic, that I enjoy the comic a lot better than I do the movie. iZombie. I believe that I made a video when iZombie very first came on that talking about how I was disappointed with the differences between the comic the uh, and the TV series. But now that I've watched the TV series for like a season and a half, uh, it's probably one of my favorite things on TV. because it is so different, but still has the basic core elements of what I liked about the iZombie story. Still wish that we could get the Ghost and the Were Terrierian, but guess it's not going to happen. But there have been a couple of little things that have happened during the show that kind of gave a shout to that. So pretty sweet. But yeah, anyway, about all I got to say about that. Just wondering what everybody might think about movies versus comics and vice versa. And if you had any kind of similar thoughts. All right, well, I might get off here and get back to trying to knock down my stack of comics.